Okay, here's what I've decided to do. I'm improving it, but only just, because I'm going to hack it a little bit. The reason I'm doing this is because this was like causing a fire. And I had to, like, well, it has to be addressed, right? Just so you can see them side by side. Here's the old one that was in there, starting to yellow a little bit. And here's the one that started to smoke and stink. And it was flickering a little bit. And I was looking, I was like, that's weird, that's flickering. And then 2 minutes later, I start smelling something and then look over and there's smoke. And in hindsight, I'm happy I was here to catch it and keep a fire from happening. I don't know if it would have caught fire, probably not, but either way. And I guess this is a good time to replace it. I'm going to replace these too, because they stuck these bulbs in here. These are the LED bulbs into one of the old fixtures. And it buzzes a lot, which I think is the indicator that that's not a good idea. Between this thing smoking, that thing buzzing, that one's probably not far behind. I have sitting on the back of the truck, which the truck has now become a place for things to live on. Those boxes, I have some lights, so I'm gonna throw those in and then get back to organizing all of this. So look how simple these new fixtures are. LEDs inside here, pop it open, quick disconnect plug, 2 wires, easy peasy. It even has the wiring diagram right there on the little bitty baby ballast. Look at that little thing. Green's gonna go to my bare wire that's in there. Black to black, white to white. Easy. This is the problem I'm having right now in the shop, is everything is just everywhere, including all my little doodads. There we go. Here. Hey, all right, that's there. All right. Small screw, small nut, split screw, small screw. Screws. These ones are kind of hefty. So I believe I've found them. Repeat, I've found them. I cannot wait to have everything clear. There we go. All right. Punch that out. All right. Where am I at? Okay. So what gauge is this? Teeny tiny. Okay. That seems to work. The ends of these are soldered, which is nice. I really appreciate that detail. All right. I don't like touching these wires because the switch is not in this room. The switch is somewhere else. And there's some little kids running around the house. They could, without knowing, flip the switch and give you a little shock-a-rooney. I guess I could put tape over the switch. I don't think they would think twice about moving the tape and just hitting the switch. This one. That still smells like smoke up here. This black one. Oh. Well, that's all wonky. Do I like that? That means that one's gonna be that way. All right, that's what we're gonna do. I can always change it if I don't like it. Give it a test. Hey! Hear the buzzing from those ones? I even like the color. Beautiful. So that hole there, but that looks good. Moving on. Light. Since that one almost caught fire, imagine this one's probably not that far behind. First off, the truck's in the way. Secondly, ooh, that's broken. Look what I have to deal with. Tripping hazard, expensive tripping hazard, not ideal, and world's most expensive shelf. 4,500 lumens, all the lumens. So I'm trying to think where I can take the wire out from. Ah, right there. So the truck is in the way, and I could back it out, but I don't really want to start it. The cylinders may be full of coolant, and I don't want to like bend anything, any of the valves. I'm gonna try to just do this on top of the truck. So I'm going to grab a moving blanket, of which I have a plethora of. Let's time lapse this one. So you basically know what I'm gonna do. Punch out that thing and do the thing, do the thing. Something weird. It goes from there, goes through to the garage door opener, then it comes back on 2 red wires. I guess the guy only had red wire. One of them they're hooked up to the black, and then the other one they hooked up to the white. And it goes up. Oh, maybe it goes. Oh, you know what? I didn't see that. So there's a hole in the top there. There's a black and a white running down from there. And that's where the power comes from. So this sends it to an outlet. Why do they run it to an outlet right here? There's an outlet here. Is there power in that box right now? Ooh, I should have checked for power. I'm sticking my fingers all in there, assuming there's no power. No. Ooh. There is power in there. Oh, I've been cramming my fingers in there. Okay, so there's only power going through that Romex, I think. God. Okay. I didn't know this one would be this complex. Let's see. It goes through to these lights. Where does that Romex go to? Crawling through. Sit you down for a second. Okay. Let's using the Jeep as a ladder. We hear buzzing. Yeah. The garage door opener still has power. That outlet has power. What in the world? Why is that light not working? What in the world? This is so strange. All right, I need to draw it out. Okay, so what I realize now is that the power is coming to it, and this is the end of the line for something. So I'm just going to, since I'm already in here, throw in the new light. Or wait, I was going to do overheads. I want to put an outlet there. I need to put an outlet there. Okay. So I'm going to need to do a Home Depot run. Or Lowe's, or whatever. So I'm looking for something to hold this pipe up. Because I used to have a bunch of pipe clamp things. And I don't know what I did with them. Oh, obviously we moved, so they're somewhere. Knew I'd find them. For now, it's much more secure. I had to take it down and refix this end of it because this one was totally mangled and wasn't even holding on to it. Maybe I'm overthinking it. So I might just be able to put this light in here and not worry about which way it's going and why. That's a future me problem. And I didn't even find the ones I was looking for. I just happened across a couple of random floaters. But it'll work. Now I'm going to hook up the light. So I think I'm going to try something. So the Romex is hot. We've already established that. I don't know what the heck these 2 red wires are. I think maybe coming from the ceiling is power. So I'm going to turn on the switch with it just like this and see which one's got power coming through it. I just kind of need it for my own sanity of how to hook this thing up. Switch is on. Nope. Nope. Yep. All right. So black is hot coming from the ceiling, and that's feeding power to other things. So what does that tell me? Why do they use 2 red wires here? Maybe because it's the same circuit. I have a black, a white, and a green. The green needs to hook. There's no common. There's no ground in here.
Wait a second, what did I just say? That's right, I'm an idiot, and I'm going to be saying a lot of stupid things in this video. But rest assured, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't know that the black wire is the hot wire, the bare and sometimes the green wire is the ground wire and the white wire is the neutral. I'd be an idiot if I was doing that. So just calm down and enjoy the video.
Okay. I'm going to take this whole thing off real quick. So I found they just cut that copper ground off in there. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to undo everything I did. Okay. Here's what I've decided to do. The right way to do this would be to pull the wire again. I mean, put new wire in. Nothing has the common. I'm improving it, but only just because I'm going to hack it a little bit. I used to have all kinds of wire and stuff before the move. I don't know where it went. I could run to Home Depot, but I'm watching the kids. So I want to get this done and move on to the next thing. So what I do have to use is a little bit of wire that I pulled out. Looks like it's 18 gauge. So I'm going to strip it. I'm going to double it. And then I'm going to butt connector it. I don't like the idea. Not really a fan of this. Better than nothing? Is it? I'm not an electrician, okay? But I do know of some that don't really think that this wire is that important. The fact that I'm trying to reconnect it, if anything, it's just making the system a little bit more safe, a little bit, not much. There you go. Will just help if there's like a short in the system. I touch it and I go, oh, I get a little shock from that. Yeah, a little shock. That's literally what would happen if it didn't have this. At least that's my general understanding of it. The only butt connector I could find, because I don't know where any of my stuff is right now, I could wire nut it, but I don't think there's enough there to grab onto. So what I'm going to do, and this is way too big, this is for 12 gauge, and this is 8, and I just doubled it up. But I'm going to do this, reach up in there, that little nubbin. This is going to look weird. I mean, I could just leave it and not worry about it, but I'm just going to do it. 10 gauge, I'm going to go down to 16 here. Okay, that feels good. So now I can just put that up in there, try to crimp it on. That'll give me something to tie on to ground it out. So now it's held in there pretty good. So I'm gonna try to feed it in and then crimp it. All right, so there it is. I was able to pull a little bit more out, get that thing crimped on there. And now I'm gonna be able to send it through, put everything back on. I think I got it all figured out. All right, day 2 of the lighting revamp for the garage. So you can see I have not yet done any new lighting up here. We have 1, 2, same kind of thing where they're connected with this conduit here, and then it goes from there to what I've already done. So I got that one in last night. It was New Year's, so kind of had some people watching me as I finished. I found some old 12 gauge. I went through all the hassle of redoing that ground in there. So I ran rewire through this guy. So right now I'm going to start working on the backlights. I'll do a quick Home Depot run. I want to do a 2 gang right there because I want to be able to have my 2 overhead work lights here, one here and one there. And then I want to be able to have a real with the power. So I have 4 outlets there. So it's a little later in the afternoon. I had to get some stuff done around the house otherwise. I had a Home Depot run. Now I'm just gonna be doing these guys. And then I grabbed this box and I'm like, okay, perfect. It has the punch outs for the same size I'm using here, which is 1/2 inch. And then just now, I realized that the 1/2 inch are only on the back and not on the sides where I need them. They do have some boxes that are, you'll see are like a crescent moon in here. So you can punch it out as a 1/2 inch or the full. This looks like 1 inch. Here's what it is. So for now, I'm just gonna bang this thing in there, get these lights hung, start working on the back. You're not gonna believe what I just found. This is crazy. Let me show you. I pulled this one down, 2-wire, which I mean that's how everything has been so far. Okay, the wire itself is like old extension cord wire. It's like something from a lamp cord or something. It's not solid core. So I'm gonna re-pull this one, mount the light, probably mount it to this 2x4. And look at these brackets that were used on this house too. Just thin aluminum. And of course a piece of, it looks like it was left out in the rain for a year before they decided to throw it up here and use it for storage. I'll probably put another 2x4, which looks like they probably had one here, and it looks like maybe it ripped out. So I don't know. We'll figure out something. Maybe I'll put a type of hanger here. Definitely gonna change them out. Just thought that was funny. It's like I was all worried about the other wire not being grounded right, and this whole thing's, yeah, that's okay. We'll do it right. All right, so I got the power, and what was going on was I can't pull through there, even though it looks like it totally could. It's just too hard with a 3-wire. I'm afraid I'm going to gouge the conduit. So I killed the breaker. I'm going to disconnect all those, pull that Romex back through, pull my fish through, and then tape them all together and pull and do one pull with all of them. A little bit more work, but it is what it is. What the heck? Well, I think I know why they only used 2 wires. Here's me trying to pull all of it through. You can see it's just not fitting. I'm gonna keep trying, but I'm probably gonna have to put a bigger tube on there. Probably need 3/4, which means to upgrade this box to a 3/4. What a rat's nest. Jar o' worms. All right, day 4, I guess. I don't know. I went to the store. I got new pipe. Very dark in here. I have to have the breaker thrown, so I'm just going off this one little flashlight, which, by the way, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love this Husky flashlight. It is the bee's knees. Anyway, got some connectoids. This goes on the end of the pipe. Other connectoids, if I use either the flex coming out of the light, I didn't like how it just kind of came out. So I'm actually going to do that right. A new one of these. And this is to replace the one I was just trying to pull through. And it has both 3/4 and the 1/2" punch outs. And it's also deeper. So I'm not going to be struggling to close it up when I'm done. I have the 3/4 pipe that's going to go back. So it's going to go to this. And I have the connectoids that connect onto this to that. I shouldn't have to replace this pipe, but I do have to replace this box. The box itself had too large of a punch out. So I got one I was talking about earlier where it has the different size punch out. So I have the 1/2" and a 3/4. So I'm going to rewire the one that's here with the new box. Then I'm going to drop the pipe that's there, put up the new pipe. I'm gonna have to cut it. After I run that, I'm also going to check the breaker I flipped. It's a 20 amp breaker, so it should be good. It's not a 15. I just looked at it right now. These are set for 15 amp. They may need to go up to a 20 amp outlet. Shoot. Well, we'll deal with that when time comes. When I threw this breaker, it turned off all the lights for the garage, all the plugs for the garage. The room next door, it's a bedroom, that has no power. The hallway out there has no power. There's a closet off the hallway, has no power. There's a bathroom on that hallway, also has no power. So this 120 amp breaker is running a lot. So that tells me that before I hook up my air compressor or anything else in here, I might want to upgrade the panel or pop in a new breaker and run a new circuit. And I think that's all I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to do too much more electrical in here because I want to build a shop. This is going to be very difficult for a few years, but eventually want to build a shop out there. So anyway, long story short, let's get to it. Okay, let me show you the mess I made. And we have the wires from the ceiling. This is the wire that was going that way. This thing almost fell and killed me. Luckily a zip tie saved me. See? I knew I'd zip tie that for a reason. So now I got to build the box. How's that? Can you see this? It's pretty good. So this is the one that's going in. This is the one that came out. It's gonna be this one. Screwdriver. Cheap screwdriver. Okay, wiggly wiggles. That's the one coming from here. This one going to there, so we'll need that as well. So we'll see about that. And then this one's gonna be the big pipe. I have to run the pipe. Gotta run that big pipe, and then pull this through it, and then hopefully it fits on the other end. I have to actually have to change out the box on the other end too. Uh-oh. I didn't think about that. Let's go look at the other end. Okay, a little bit out of breath. That pipe doesn't want to go. Pounded on the end of it, doesn't want to go through. So there's a hole right there. It's too small. And I have to get an auger bit and drill that out a little bit more. And then it'll go in. If it's not one thing, it's a bunch of things.
Good morning. It is day 6, 5, I don't know. What I do know is that that pipe's not gonna go through that hole. So I need to either drill it out or I can bend around that beam. If I was to go around the beam, there's 2 ways of doing it. I could bend a pipe to go around it, or I could use pull through 90s. Get me around and back is hunting is gonna be, oh, we got him. Get it. It's duck hunting season. Anyway, each one of those 90s to pull is gonna be like $3. That's gonna be like at least a $12 ordeal, right? I think I'm just gonna get like a $30 pipe bender, bend around it, and then I should be good. Oh, another thing is I'm gonna have to get a longer cable to make it through. And if I did go straight through, if I drilled, once I get through the beam, there's metal holding up the garage door opener right there. It's too close, so the pipe won't go through. So that would create a whole nother thing, because then I'd be messing with the garage door opener, and who knows, that's gonna be another can of worms. This whole thing's been crazy. I'm just gonna get a piece of pipe, a pipe bender, and just go from there. I'm trying to move the Jeep out, and I've never tried to, what is this? Oh, interesting. I've never tried to get it out of drive without starting the engine. This looks like you're supposed to pull on it. I don't want to start the engine because I'm afraid there may be coolant in it. Let me keep messing with it. All right, so that's better. Bend, bend, bend. Oh, and I want to push the Jeep out more, but it's uphill. That is what it is. So we learned something new about how to move the Jeep. That's cool. So now we just need to figure out this guy. I'm just gonna start bending. All right, I've been staring at this thing for a second. I think what I'm gonna do, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to bend a pipe to make it into there and come down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move that box over to there. I'll have a straight shot as it's coming down here. Following this line, I can dog leg it over here, drop it down, come up, and then go straight into this box. Well, I thought I was recording. I even set up this camera holder thingy. But yeah, I went ahead and switched them. Anyway, start bending pipe. Okay, so I just bent it at 45 degrees. Just right there. You can see the end. Now I'm just gonna mark my next bend. Okay, so I got 45 goes into there. high. Whoa, that's way low. I needed that bend to start much earlier. Lesson learned. I guess let's try to bend it back. We need the bend to happen before that. Hopefully I can undo that bend. I need that to be the center of the bend, not where the bend starts. Bend. So maybe that's that little star there is where I needed to line that up. So here's what I learned. This right here, the little black hash mark there, that's where the end of the tool sits. That area right there. And then the center of my bend is there. So I'm gonna measure that 4¼ inch. So then I have where my center of my next bend needs to be. Measure out 4¼ inch. I'll put the end of the tool there, and then I'll be able to make this bend in the right spot. For a second, I didn't think that would work because this bend was in the way. I had to use my knee on the tool. So I found my height here, and it's 12½ inches. So I was like, okay, I'll go 12½ inches up from here. So I marked the pipe, and then I almost made a mistake. I'm like, okay, I need to go 4¼ inch. And then when I drop it down, that should be facing flat. But I needed to go 4¼ inches the other way. So the grip of the tool, 4¼ inches this way. And then that lined that markup, little star thing. I bent it 45 and it works perfect. So now I'm going to start to try to get that dog leg in it and trim it to length. Okay, so there it is. So you have the dog leg in it. It's not perfect. Debating right now whether or not I want to take it down or tweak it a little bit. Actually, right there looks good. I'm gonna eventually redo this whole garage. Point being, this will probably get redone eventually anyways, so it doesn't need to be perfect. All right, another lesson learned. So I took some out thinking it would push it up against the ceiling more, when actually it does the opposite of that. Pushes this end up and it forces that end down. So I actually need to put more bend in it to get it to suck up to the ceiling, which makes sense now, but yeah, all right, let's do that. So that tended to do what I thought it would do now, and it sucked it up against the ceiling quite a bit better. But by doing that, by increasing that bend, it made the pipe shorter. So what I'm thinking about doing now is letting out a little bit here, letting out a little bit there to make the pipe longer, because it's barely hanging on. You can see where I had the set screw the first time. By increasing the radius there, as you increase it, it makes the pipe shorter. As you decrease it, it makes it longer. I'm gonna try to make these bends a little bit longer, then it'll help suck this back in, and then it'll help kick this out. I got it further in there. It's pretty tight to the ceiling. That's it. So now I just need to pull the wire. Let's see what's in this box. This one's just pulled straight through. Looks like I'm making another Home Depot run. Okay, so since I needed to replace the cable in there, I'm gonna see if this piece that I cut will fit, and hopefully it does, because I don't wanna have to buy too much more wire. Oh, come on, please. Oh, of course, it's like 3 inches too short. I'm gonna cut this pipe 6 inches shorter, just so I don't have to buy more wire. Now let's run it through and see what it did. Perfect. There it is. There we go. So that gives me plenty about to there. Check this other one. Yeah, it's plenty. I'm gonna hook up the light over here. I'll install the light over here. I'm gonna pull this back through. I'm gonna cut this, and I need to get more wire, I think. That's what I'll do next. All right, so hopefully you're able to see that, but this thing's kicking my butt. I was trying to pull this through, and it's just fighting me every bit of the way. And this pipe that he had there, it's like 1, 2, 3 different pipes with 3, 4 fittings on it. It's just a nightmare. So it's a nightmare. Oh, jeez. So what I'm going to do, bend this, since now I'm Mr. Bendy. Oh, but I just cut that, so I can't do too many bends in it. I don't know. I'm gonna mess with it. I'm gonna sit here and think about it. I'll get it figured out and start bending and pulling and rearranging. Working on that, going that way. Okay, let's do that. Look at this. I just popped this off and it was all like this. Like that was just pushed into there. And this one was pushed into here. At least they have their ground, but holy moly. That is just, well, this wasn't hooked up, I don't think. That is insane. I'm glad I popped that off. This goes to this, and then that was what was running all the way over here through the pipe and everything. Oh my God, what a freaking rat's nest. Talk about a can of worms. This is like every single thing I touch, it's becoming something else. Deep breaths. I should have just started here in the first place. I should have basically torn everything out and redone it. It's pretty much what I'm doing. I've replaced everything. Oh, except for that one little piece of conduit. That stayed. I'm gonna do that. Then from there, I'm going to run straight up into this box. From the box, I'm gonna change out this line here, 3/4 inch, instead of running the 1/2 inch. Then I can just pull all wires through it and I don't have to dilly-dally with this whole thing that you can see the paint that was left behind from them painting around it. That's what I'm gonna do. After that, we'll see where we are. I'm gonna wire in the light over there since I have the wire pulled over to there. Maybe wire that one up since I have, I think, enough wire to do that too. Then I just need to make this one long pull and then we're good. I think that'll be it. A couple wire nuts, that should be it. A couple covers. Okay, so once I hurdle this, get those lights in, I think it's getting close to being done. I need a shave and a haircut. Looks scraggly today. Oh well. That was a lot. That was a lot of work. So I got that one in there. Nice. I trimmed it so it would fit. Put that collar on there. And then I replaced that box. And then this pipe here, I cut. And I got that one in there. And then I tried to pull both, or try to push both of them at the same time. That was going okay, but it didn't work out really. So I pulled it out, tried to run one, and then try to push the other one behind it. That didn't work, so I pulled them both out. Ran the tape through the fish line, put that in, taped it up, pulled that through, and that worked. While I was doing all this, I was thinking I could just make the connection there to those plugs instead of pulling the wire through to here just to hook it up and have it run back. Because before it was coming up and over this way, so it didn't have a chance, but that's its first stop. This gray wire, see, this is all I have because I cut it, of course. If I hadn't have cut that, I would have had enough, and then this would have just been a one straight shot. But now it's got to be a lot of connections in that box. It's all good. It'll work. It'll be fine. Bird. I think I'm gonna have to pull this back through, run the fish, and then pull it through. I'm not gonna use this outdoor. This is like an outdoor wire. It's really annoying. Cutting this stuff is a pain. It's like dipped in plastic. It's not just Romex. It's really hard to split. So what I found is if you kind of just grab it and just pull it, it rips apart, and then you can get your ends and keep going with it.
What are you barking at? What? What is it?
Okay, today, I don't even know what. Went to Home Depot this morning, got some more wire. We're gonna finish this thing. We're gonna finish today, I'm confident. The reason I was reusing this was to try to save money, but really this should not be inside the conduit. I should pull another 3 strands through it. And with a 1/2 inch, EMT, you're allowed 7 strands of 14 gauge, which is what this is in here. Problem being that this garage circuit is not on its own. So eventually I'll need to give the garage its own circuit, but for now, it is what it is. That's strange that he went from 3/4 inch down to 1/2 inch. Why did he do that? I say he, like I know the guy who did this, but I don't know. Not gonna worry about it. Leave that alone. Just gonna finish this, keep organizing the garage, and then we can fix the Jeep. So when I flip on the breaker, so this wire right here is hot, but nothing else is hot. That light turned on. And then when I flip the switch out there, that turns on, which will send power to here. When you flip that breaker on, it sends power to the room, the hallway, and the bathroom. And then they pigtailed off of that to get power into here. So that's the first stop. And then it comes through to here, and that's gonna send power everywhere else. Oh, there's another outlet over here I forgot about. So they did it twice. Okay. So that means that to get this to work again, I need to wire this to that one and the circuit to there. Before I was tying them all together. Oh, actually, you know what? I do want to do that to that. Okay. So it is good that I did it that way. I didn't mess up. I thought I was overdoing it. So we're good. Next box I'm going to do, I'm going to have quite a few wound together. I think I have to do 4 at a time. And they're 12 gauge. What I'm going to use these lever nuts. They're supposed to be really good. They're not cheap. And I didn't see anything in code that said you couldn't use them. Looks like you lift up those levers, stick in the wire, and then close down on it. Reusable, solid, there you go. Solid, 12, 24, stranded, 24, 12, flexible, 24, 12. What is flexible? If I need to use more than 3 12 gauge wires, I'm going to use these. Change of plans again. Got rid of that box. This light's going straight to here. That light down there is going straight in. And then the other 2 are coming into this one. And this is going that way. I eliminated a box here, eliminated a box there. So now I'm going to use the outlet, and that should be good. But I think that's much cleaner than having all 3 of those boxes. I just wish I didn't have to juggle those so much to get to this point. But live and learn. So here it is. Got the light, 1 box. That box is stuffed, but it's in there. Going to the light over there, that light's done. On the new 2x4 I put in. And then that going over there to a light, an outlet, a box to a switch to another outlet. I just have to finish wiring here. This light's good to go. That light's good to go. These lights are wired good. That outlet's good. I double checked it. Kick it on and look for smoke. I just want to show you real quick the difference in the wire nuts I'm using. So these are good for 3 12 gauge. And then there's this other type here. This is the type I've never used before. They have these little switches so you can open them up and then push the wire in. These take both solid and braided. I have a braided cable. This one here is braided. But I just like how you got that sure thing. You got it clamped in there. You can see it's good connection. You can take them off and put some in easier. Plus having 4 going to 1 wire nut, it's just, I don't know, feels weird. This feels solid. Almost done here. And then after that 1 more connection, it'll be time to power it up and check for smoke. Okay. I think that's it, except for the garage door wire here, which is no big deal. I'll just tack that up here in a moment. This is done. That's done. This is done. That's done. Covers are on. All right. Let's see if it trips. Okay. We got power there. That's good. Let's turn on the switch. Everything seems to be working so far. Man, look at all that light. Working in a bat cave. Wow, it's so bright. Actually see everything. Look at this mess. Wow, look at the light. Oh, you're humming. Garage door's open. Oh, there's humming. Let's see if it works.
Nice and quiet.
All right, there she goes. I'm done.
Amazing. I don't know what to say.
Look, I got goosebumps. Look at that. Oh, it actually works. Yep, that works. All right, I guess that's it. All right, thanks everyone for hanging out and watching that. And next is going to be garage organization. Once that's all put away, then we're going to crack into the Jeep, get that thing banged out and back on the road. Have a good one.